Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen, and this week I'm doing a lot of videos today. I had the day off and nothing to do, so I figured I'd catch up on some tags. I did the comedy tag, I did the Final Destination tag, the Hammer Horror tag, and that was a lot of fun. So this time I figured I'd do something a little different. I wanted to show off some heavy metal CDs that I picked up over this past weekend. As you guys may or may not know, I'm a huge heavy metal fan. I'm a heavy metal freak. I love metal music and have pretty much my entire life. So I got some really cool, nice pickups, some classic metal, some classic stuff. And I just thought I'd show you guys and maybe talk a little bit about them. I'm not a musician myself, so I can't really talk about certain riffs and drum beats and how they work, but I am a huge fan. I can talk a little bit about it. So the first one I picked up was an amazing classic here, and that is Ozzy, Diary of a Madman. It just doesn't get any better than Ozzy with the Randy Rhoads era, just amazing. Randy Rhoads was a phenomenal guitar player, and I think that's the best era of solo Ozzy. Definitely those first couple albums, Blizzard of Oz and then Diary of a Madman, were just absolute classics. So I was happy to pick up that. This one here I picked up, Blue Oyster Cult, Agents of Fortune. It's not really heavy metal, but really the only reason I got this one is because of the song Don't Fear the Reaper, And obviously I'm a huge Halloween buff, and that song is heavily featured in the original Halloween. And it's just an awesome song. Plus, I love how they made fun of it in the Saturday Night Live episode with Will Ferrell, more cowbell. I was really happy to pick up these couple ones here. A double shot of classic Iron Maiden, baby. We've got Killers and we got Number of the Beast. Two awesome classics from Iron Maiden. Definitely love Iron Maiden big time. An amazing band. Their playing is just phenomenal. Steve Harris is an amazing bass player. Probably the best bass player in metal, in my opinion. And of course you got Dave Murray, you got Adrian Smith, and now they got Yannick Gers. Now you got 3 guitarists in Iron Maiden. Of course the original singer was Paul Di'Anno, who was featured on the Killer albums as well as the debut album Iron Maiden. And I also love the Paul Di'Anno era. He seemed more like a punk rock type singer. He didn't have that much range like Bruce Dickinson, of course, but I still love those songs. I still love those first couple albums. He did have a cool raw presence to him, and I liked his vocals. I liked his vocals as well. Very good singer. I just think Bruce Dickinson was just a little more, he had more operatic and more range, a lot more of a dynamic vocalist. And definitely Number of the Beast is just immortal. Now here's a classic that I think is highly underrated, and that is Pantera, the Great Southern Trendkill, which I think is the most underrated Pantera album. They did so much cool stuff on this album. Yes, it was definitely more experimental. They experimented with a much heavier, more aggressive, borderline death metal type sound, as well as some really more mellow side to them. They had songs like Floods with those really nice acoustic guitar in there, and Phil experimented a lot more with some singing and some operatic style vocals, and like the Suicide Note Part 2 song, not Part 2, actually Part 1 I believe, where he had a more dynamic range in his vocals, as opposed to the shouting, screaming, growling type vocals, which was really cool. I thought they did a lot of really good stuff. I think there's definitely some of their best songs on this album. Songs like War Nerve really get me going. That really hypes me up when I hear that song. Can't say enough about Dimebag Darrell. He's an absolutely amazing guitarist. So rest in peace, Dimebag Darrell. And that, to me, is the most underrated Pantera album. And guess what? I got a double shot of Queensryche, too. I was really happy to pick up these. These are two of my favorites. Definitely a big Queensryche fan, especially the first, like, 5 albums. And I think this one here is highly underrated. Rage for Order. To me, this is where the real Queensryche was born. Where they came into their own style and found who they are going to be as a group. I think before this, they were much more like an Iron Maiden, Judas Priest style. They were kind of doing that British style heavy metal, new wave of British heavy metal. Very much so. Those first couple albums are very reminiscent to like Iron Maiden, you know. I still love them. They were great. But I think Rage for Order is when they became Queensryche, when they set themselves apart from all the other metal bands. And then, of course, when they did Operation Mindcrime, they just blew it wide open. I just think that's the most phenomenal heavy metal album there is. That's my favorite heavy metal album, is Queensryche Operation Mindcrime. Just brilliant. I love the progressive metal of it. The progressive metal style of that album, and obviously the incredible vocals by Jeff Tate, who's definitely one of my favorite heavy metal vocalists. Yeah, and of course Empire was their most successful album that they ever made. Chock full of Queensryche classics like Best I Can, Jet City Woman, Another Rainy Night Without You, Empire, and of course their biggest hit ever, Silent Lucidity, the real mellow, you know, acoustic style song. It was kind of like a lullaby to his daughter. I thought that was really cool. Some great videos on that album too, great music videos. Just an awesome album, and this is the album that just really blew it out of the water for them and made them extremely successful. They had several big hits. So yeah, I love Queensryche. I'm very happy with the pickups I got today. Some classic Iron Maiden, some Pantera, and some classic Queensryche. So yeah, I'm real excited. I know CDs is kind of a dying art, you know, but I still love them. Not to me, CDs, I still use them all the time. I still play them in my car all the time. I play them in my room all the time. And I love making up like mixed CDs from like iTunes and putting together a playlist and burning them on my CD player. So awesome. I just love music. I love heavy metal. And thanks for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared.